thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been...
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back aboard to Realltom Football. My name is Tom, bringing you the watch-along this afternoon for Brighton Hove Albion against Crystal Palace, live in the Premier League. If you do not watch this on replay, please do make sure you leave me a like on the stream, hit the subscribe if you are new. And thank you very much indeed, folks, to everybody who is here today. Kick-off on the way for you for this one at 2 o'clock in the Premier League. And it's Brighton against Crystal Palace to get you started on what is a big Super Sunday. I'm not going to say busy. However, it is busy in the sense of there is quite a few announcements for me to bring you as I return from my absence. And the first, we're going to get you kicked off with this one to get you started, because I know that you guys like to be informed. I have cancelled my FA Cup attendance for Arsenal Wigan Athletic. I will now be here for that game, and in place of that, an attendance alert is going to come the way of you guys for, if I can find the banner, for if I can find the banner, like I said. If I can find the banner. There you are. There you are. So, yeah, we will now be going to Wolves versus Arsenal, guys. So, once again, cancelled attendance of Arsenal-Wigan. Arsenal-Wigan I will be here for and live for. That fixture has been replaced by Wolves versus Arsenal. So, I will be in attendance at Molineux. So, yeah, that will be my next game of attendance as an Arsenal fan. That is the first. And afternoon to Jamesy. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And Ashik is also here as well. How you doing, Ashik? And welcome aboard to anybody else who just joined us on, like I said, a big Super Sunday. There's not many games today. There's only just the two. One at 2, one at 4:30. And we get started with a A23 derby in one of its names. There's many other names for it, but a rivalry that feels like a derby is what Luke Links will tell you. Well, it's Brighton against Crystal Palace, and these two most certainly are fierce rivals, and it's going to hopefully add a nice fierce touch to the big showcase later. Not so much of a big fixture that is the same level of, I don't know, Arsenal Man United or Liverpool Man United or Man United Man City or Arsenal Spurs, but Liverpool against Manchester City is the 4:30 kickoff today. And on to the red side of Manchester. Manchester United have won 4 games in a row. And it was Arsenal fans in the Emirates Stadium absolutely going wild when TNT Sports had announced that the final score was Manchester United 2, Spurs 0. Speak of the Emirates, it was a good day out yesterday. I got back very late though. London Euston was a nightmare. Unfortunately, yes, I wasn't able to use London St Pancras International. So I did have to use London Euston yesterday. And I am saddened to announce that somebody decided to throw themselves in front of a train right at the gateway to Euston. Because for those of you who don't know about London Euston is a unique station in London, the only station in London that has one track which opens out to 12 tracks, which then open out to 16 tracks. In other words, that one track is the gateway to London Euston, and somebody decided to throw themselves in front of a train on that one track, which is considered London Euston's gate, which caused mayhem yesterday. And I was not able to use London St Pancras International to get home, so that was great. But otherwise, a really great day out, and fair play to my guy. I did have a ticket through the ballot, but I gave it to my dealer. He got me a ticket right next to the Sunderland fans, and it was brilliant. Leeds fan here would be real handy if you, yeah. Thank you. Leeds, yeah. Well, firstly, I'm going to address you as opposed to just. Yeah, the gate. Yeah, I mean, there's no gate, but we call. By the way, CJB 945. Welcome aboard to you. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. We'll get to you in a minute, but we are just. Yeah, it's not. There's no gate, but they call it the gateway to Euston, and yeah. That one line of track leads you out to 12 platforms, which then turn into 12 tracks, which then lead on to 16 platforms. And some lunatic on that one track, which leads you into Euston, decided to get... Oh. And yeah, sadly, yesterday, there was no service between Bedford and London St Pancras International, which meant that East Midlands Railway were not able to rectify the situation for me and get me as far as Derby or Sheffield. Oh, it was great. I don't even like London Euston because it's inconvenient as well to park the bikes up as well, because obviously I've started using the e-bikes around London. I've gone tubeless, and what a horrible station to have to park an e-bike, I must say. I mean, seriously, I mean, because normally I've got it preset in my head to just park up outside London King's Cross. Because then all I have to do is walk literally 2 minutes to get into St Pancras. So, but yeah. Yeah, London Euston, it's a station that leads you to great places in the northwest, but it's a horrid train station. Oh, I'm an Arsenal fan, Mr. Tom Talks Wrestling. And yes, I do live in the UK, of course I do. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan, through and through. I must admit, cycling away from the Emirates Stadium is not quite as fun as it is to cycle away from other stadiums in London because, yeah, the stewards. Well, I mean, look, there is a cycle path within the Emirates, but the stewards, of course, won't let you go through it, which puts another 5-6 minutes onto your journey time. And your map wants you to go over the bridge, which is, of course, blocked off by stewards. Yeah, I really underestimate. Well, I know I don't want to say underestimated, but look, the first time I did this whole cycling to the stadium and back again initiative was Stamford Bridge, yeah, that was a piece of cake, really, other than the 44-minute ride back to St Pancras. I did feel a little bit bad, to be fair, and you know, because I felt like I mean, I think that you guys have been brilliant this year, and I think that Daniel Farker, based on his previous jobs, and you know, obviously being at Norwich, I think he's done a really good job with you guys. I think that he has just slapped himself in the face and adapted something about his management style to make him the guy for Leeds. And funnily enough, Leeds look more settled than they've ever been in the Premier League before, really, or at least in a long time. I didn't want that. I didn't want you guys to have a 4-0 defeat. If I'm being honest with you, I would have preferred to do that against somebody like Wolves or whatever. But because you know, I think fortunately, it hasn't ruined your good trajectory because you bounced back almost immediately with that win against Forest. But I mean, look, I was joyous after that win, but deep down, I did feel a little bit bad. I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin it for Leeds. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, do I need to? Because Flicks, I'm not going to lie to you, and I hate to cause a bit of a stir here, but I think Man United are the real deal now. I'm sorry to say it, but Man United seem the real deal at the minute for me. I don't see a game that they'll lose for the rest of the season. I don't. The way Michael Carrick's got them playing, they can beat literally anybody, including Arsenal. If City keep dropping points and slipping up, I would say Manchester United are the most serious contender for second place, let alone 4th place above Liverpool. So I don't see it as a game where I need anything today. It's going to be the exact same narrative as the Liverpool Man United game, Flicks. I'm just going to enjoy it because with the way Man United are playing and where they are and the threat that they have for Manchester City, not let alone Liverpool, now there's no need to be relying on a 5th place team, are we talking, to do us a favour. I am live for City, yes. Yeah. And I'm sorry to say, yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not. Do I look like I'm joking? I have looked through the fixture list. There isn't a game that Man United could. There isn't a game that Man United can't win there. And you have to take them seriously. They've beaten Tottenham, Man City, and Arsenal within 3 consecutive games, I think, or the Fulham game in between. But still, I mean, I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying City keep an eye out. No, I wouldn't mind, but like I say, for me, it's United who are the real deal at the minute. Yeah. I mean, I look at those three teams at the minute, and I think, well, now that Amrim's gone, who's playing the best football? United. Who looks the strongest? United. Who's been the most consistent since Amrim's gone? United. And I have to. I mean, look, people will of course find it controversial, but like I say, at this moment in time, unless they slip up, United are a contender, a big contender to really pose a damaging threat to City's second place. Anyways, I do need to get through to the team news, guys, because it's 13:56, so we're going to have to quickly go through the league table here. That's the beauty of chit-chatting. So, league table and team news. Here we go. We are just about to kick off as well. This Premier League weekend, by the way, is a campaign which is no longer Rainbow Laces. It's been renamed now, but it is with pride. And the Gay Gooners did come out yesterday and do a little bit of something at the Emirates, as well as holding up their banner loud and clear. So, yeah, this Premier League weekend is in support of a campaign which is with pride. Obviously, that is not properly aligned with my beliefs, so I don't particularly do too much about it. But it is a campaign which to some fans means a lot. So the Premier League is supporting that campaign this Premier League weekend. Yeah, we more or less focus on things like no room for racism, England when they fundraise for the Alzheimer's, etc., etc. But the league table, Brighton are in 13th at the minute. They can move on to 34 points if they get all 3 points, level on points with Fulham and Bournemouth. And that will be a certainty, by the way, for all of these teams today as well, where they move, because, of course, these are the last 2 games of the weekend. Brighton, though, yeah, 34 points, level on points with Fulham and Bournemouth. Goal difference would see them with a +2 above Fulham and Bournemouth into 10th. Point for Brighton will do nothing for them. It will put them on to 32 points to within 1 point of Newcastle. Their opponents, Crystal Palace, sit currently in 15th, just a level on points with Leeds and only above them by goal difference, which is 5 better. They can move, though, on to 30 points with a draw today, level on points with nobody, but on to into 14th, a point above Spurs, and to within a point of Brighton, who, of course, will move on to 32 points, 2 points rather. If they get the 3 points, Crystal Palace, they'll move on to 31 points, 32 points rather, level on points with nobody, to within 1 point of Newcastle, and a point above Brighton. And the main teams for you. And by the way, we will do the run through the results at half time. There was some big results yesterday, including Fulham's defeats to Everton, which surprised me. That was genuinely the result that surprised me the most yesterday. I thought Fulham would roll Everton right over yesterday. It was just Fulham and Arsenal playing in London yesterday as well, nobody else. Apart from Rugby in goal, in fact, they are the only teams who've played in London this entire weekend. Apart from Rugby in goal, for Brighton, a back four of Maxime de Kuiper, Boskagli, Lewis Dunk and Ferdy Kadioglu behind the midfield three of Howell, Carlos Baliba, and the returning man, of course, Pascal Gross. The front three, Karamatoma, Kostulas, and Jorginho Ruter on the front line alongside. And then on the bench is Igor Julio, Yankuba Minter, Jack Kinshaw-Wood, Danny Welbeck, James Milner, Jason Steele, Diego Gomez, Matt O'Reilly, and Joel Beltman, one of Luke Links's favourite players. Dean Henderson in goal for Palace, a back three of Chris Richards, Max Enstakrani, I need to hurry up. Jefferson Lerma, midfield is a four of Daniel Munoz, Will Hughes, Adam Wharton, and Tarek Mitchell. Then the diamond front three sees debutant Jorgen Strand-Larsen signed from Wolves in the January window. Yeri Pino and Ismail Assar at the back end of that diamond. On the bench for Crystal Palace, Brennan Johnson, one of the other new signings, Christantos Uche, Nathaniel Klein, Daishi Kamada, JC Camber, Borna Souza, Evan Gesson, signed from Villa. Shadi Riyad and Walter Benitez, goalkeeper. Those are the teams, and I'm just in time for kickoff. They are. And I don't think they're a threat to us, but they could be. There's no question that United are in the title race. You know what I mean? If Arsenal slip up, it could be. I mean, I don't think Liverpool have got a chance. It literally is. I mean, can we really say that Villa are a contender? I wouldn't consider it. But Villa are in there. It's Villa, Arsenal, City, United, really. And right now, all of us really, with the consistency and the, I mean, since we've got back to winning ways and got back to our best, really, it's Arsenal and United who are being Mr. Consistent. So kick-off then at the Amex Stadium, Crystal Palace in their gold kit and Brighton in their standard blue and white seaside-themed striped shirt. And it could be a big win for either of these teams. Crystal Palace did do the league double over Brighton last season. Of course, though, the most recent result between these two was a 0-0 draw, which will have been favourable to Brighton after having the league double done over them by Palace last season. So a good point for Brighton at Selhurst Park in what was a rather frustrating match to watch, really, I must say. But Brighton will want to get a win against Crystal Palace for the first time in 3 games after, of course, being winless in 3 against their fierce South London rivals. And yes, by the way, we are on the good old Monster today as well. Yeah, there's a lot of this in the fridge. We've also got Stella as well. Yes. My mother, of course, knows that what I like to drink. She must have checked my Wetherspoons orders. No. Yeah, included in my little birthday bag of treats. After having a beautiful meal at Miller and Carter's, it was 2 bottles of Stella, which were part of a selection of cloves and cards in a bag. So there is 2 bottles of Stella in the fridge, and they will come into play at some point in the next couple of weeks. And yes, for anybody who does want to know, yes, Stella is my favourite lager. So there you go. Yes, I won't tell a lie when I say that my tongue wasn't as satisfied as it would normally be with the Peroni served by Miller and Carter. I think it was a choice of Estrella, Summer Else, and Peroni. I went for Peroni. But no, my top 2 lagers are San Miguel and Stella. Rutter. Have they forced a corner? Yes, they have, Brighton. So Brighton corner in the first 3 minutes of the game. And it is an Amex Stadium, which I visited in the summer. It is a stadium which is not as loud as what its away fans show you on the road. It's quite a quiet ground, but nice and loud in the early stages of this big rivalry day. And Rutter going for it. And that's going to be another corner. 2 consecutive corners for Brighton. And Pascal Gross sitting from the left. Yes, it was an astoundingly hot day when I visited the Amex for a visit by Wolfsburg in the pre-season. And yeah, quiet place, but normally because in my little agenda, really, as a Arsenal fan, and my attendance list, because I do have a rule of attendances. And by the way, as well, I am bringing into force a new rule as well, and that is going to mean that 2 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday for Arsenal, mainly at home, will come into the same categorization as 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've actually had less 2 o'clock kickoffs this season than we have 3 o'clock kickoffs, quite ironically. I think the Everton game is going to be only our second 2 o'clock kickoff of the season, and we're on 4 3 o'clocks already. Yeah, we don't play. We haven't played at 2 o'clock very much this year, Arsenal. But yeah, like I say, next game for me, I'm quite excited for it actually. I know that it's a bit of a rough atmosphere and the fans aren't happy, but I am looking forward to going to Molineux because it's been a ground that I've looked at. I've seen the location. I've seen the fans' satisfaction rate of it, particularly away fans, and you've just got to quite kind of acknowledge but ignore the disgruntled home crowd and try and enjoy it really, and that's what I plan to do. But no, Molineux, when it comes to its home crowd, it's not a happy place. But it shouldn't stop away fans from having their first or second or whatever visit there. You know what I mean? And I thought, well, I wasn't going to do it originally because of the Carabao Cup final. But because it got rescheduled, I just decided, you know what, sod it, I'm going to just do this. And yeah, like I say, moving on to that, Brighton away, normally now I would do because, like I say, in my little list of fixtures that I must attempt to attend, that is normally one. But the problem I've got is it's a midweek one. And unfortunately, our hotels are very, very, very expensive, more expensive than London, down in Brighton since the Royal Albion Hotel shut down due to a fire, which was a Britannia hotel, which are much more affordable than other hotels. So yeah, ideally, the way I'd do it is normally I'd do either a day trip or I would go across to Eastbourne, which is just to the east of Brighton on the same coast. And that has got a much cheaper selection of hotels. And it is literally about a 10-minute train ride or a 30-minute bus ride. But no, with it being a midweeker, I can't contemplate paying for a hotel in there with those prices. So because yeah, what you guys mustn't forget is I have to travel quite a fair bit to most matches. I mean, the closest trip for me is Nottingham Forest. And the easiest trip as well. And no, I know what you're all saying, but you didn't go to Forest. No, I didn't. You're right. But again, that was a hindrance of my investment to go to Stamford Bridge. And as much as people will say the league is important, yeah, but as to is the Carabao Cup. And sometimes as an Arsenal fan, when you know that there is a big opportunity to do something and, you know what I mean, and go to somewhere where normally you'd have to pay a lot more than what I did, you've got to take that opportunity and strangle it by the neck. And that's exactly what I'm doing this season. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm going to Wembley. As much as I'll sing, we're going to Wembley, I don't think I am. But that's because Wembley is something that can happen in the summer or next season. This is the year for me to start strangling opportunities by the neck. And that's exactly what I'm doing by going to places like the Bridge, Molineux, before they get relegated. Turf Moor, I mean, it was always going to be an opportunity that was going to come back, because I think Burnley will be sort of a Norwich slash Watford for the next couple of years until they find a way to settle. And I do believe that Burnley will come out of the yo-yo and settle in the Premier League again. But yeah, Turf Moor was definitely worth it as well. I mean, when you get fans telling you all this about the wooden seats, that is now non-existent, and they've moved the away end as well. No, Turf Moor was actually really enjoyable for me as an away fan. And it had a mix, really, of old school and lower league, but also a mix of Premier League as well, because inside the ground at Turf Moor, what it now looks like is a Premier League ground, because you've got, I mean, over the back end of the ground, they've put loads of LED screens in, and all around the ground as well. Every advertising board on every tier of stripping is covered in LED screens now around the ground, which is really positive. And it feels like a much more visitable place. I mean, obviously, from what people have said. On the outside, though, grim. Yeah. But I think that it was a good experience for me as an away fan to be chucked in a cricket club pre-match, literally. Where's the fan zone for the away fans? There, mate. Pointing to a cricket club. And yeah, that's what football's all about. I already know that Molineux, based on its location for anything, is not going to have a cricket club for me to get drinks. We will get a proper fan zone of some description at Molineux. That is for sure. As a matter of fact, they weren't supposed to do this, I don't think, but at Stamford Bridge, I was told by the stewards, yes, there would be segregation, and Arsenal fans, before going through the turnstiles, would be able to go get food outside the ground. Then I see Chelsea shirts. I was like, you little INF. Yeah, the segregation on the outside of the ground was shambolic from Chelsea, but I don't think it really mattered. I was surprised, to be fair, by the lack of security measures would be the right word to say, actually, deployed at Stamford Bridge, because I really thought that we would be locked in the ground for 15 minutes to allow the Chelsea fans to get lost because of the fact we won, for starters. But no, the turnstiles were open. The doors were open to get out straight away. There was nobody trying to block us or anything. And I was just like, I'd almost prepared myself for the fact that I was going to be locked in the ground for 15 minutes, but no. Oh, Ismail Assar's on the move, but it just ran away from him in there. Yeah, that could have been a huge chance. It was offside anyway. But the likelihood is, my biggest experience this year will probably be Man City away. And I know you all keep saying to me, well, why on earth are you going to Man City away, but you're not doing a North London derby or whatever? The time of the year. Critical. When you are on a balance like me, and you have to get tickets the way I do, the timing of a fixture is critical. And it just so happens that that Man City away fixture falls in April, a month where actually I'm coming off the back end of an international break and the bank is allowed to rest. So that's why. Of course, next year, I will strive to go to places like Old Trafford or Anfield. You know what I mean? Because Man City away doesn't have to be every year, just because it's a title race fixture. But what it is obviously the title race of now, and it is a reasonably easy fixture and stadium for me to tick off the list in terms of me being a visiting fan. There's no question that I've been within touching distance of the Etihad before. I've been outside Old Trafford of the Etihad before. But no, it's a good one to be able to tick off this year, and I am grateful because I've been looking back. I look at the schedule all the time. And yeah, 11th of April, it's a sweet time for that fixture. So yeah, that's me. And I've already had a few people, including my parents, say, look, why are you not going to the FA Cup game? Well, for starters, I didn't get it through the ballot, which surprised me beyond expectations. But maybe that was the club telling me, you don't need to go to this game. More than, because it did surprise me, but maybe it's the right thing for me to leave that one out, because yeah, there is bigger opportunities for me to take when it comes to attending. But yeah. By the way, Chelsea at home came through the ballot as well. So yeah, who knows? But anyways, I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying just touring, I suppose you could say. Oh, and by Gross and Dunk got his contact. And wide of the target. But yeah, I'm just enjoying taking the opportunities that are in front of me. And the Carabao Cup is always going to be a bigger presentation of opportunities than the FA Cup, I suppose you could say. because it comes first, but also some places are much easier to get to midweek than they are at the weekend, for instance. Some places are the opposite. For example, Brighton. Like I say, the Amex Stadium is one where I would probably never be able to do it in midweek yet. Bournemouth, yes, it's the same kind of distance. Yes, it's the south coast. Yes, it's 4 hours away. However, the hotels are a lot cheaper down in Bournemouth, and there are 5 Britannias down there. So yeah, it's not necessarily about the distance, but it's also about the price of the hotels. And with Brighton as well, more often than not, until Grand Central get to put their new Newcastle to Brighton service in, which is going to be approved as well, the way to get into Brighton is via London. And I know off by heart, the last train northbound out of London is 23:04 or 23:35 to Nottingham. So Ismail Assar. And by the way, those 4 minutes do help a little bit as well. I know what you're all thinking right now. Well, I mean, some people will go, why 23:04? Why not just 23 o'clock? Trust me. From experience, and believe me from experience, those 4 minutes have been the difference between me catching that train or not at times. Karamatoma to take the throw in for... No, it's going to be left for 29. Who are you? Who are you? De Kuiper. Howell couldn't feed it to Kadioglu. It was a good run on the overlap by Kadioglu, actually. The first 22 minutes, it's largely been Brighton, but Crystal Palace have got forward a few times. I just hope that it isn't a 0-0 draw, because you do kind of want goals in games like this. I mean, yeah. The last time I saw this exact fixture, it took place at the Amex. It was, I believe, a 3 o'clock non-TV kickoff. But it was horrible to watch, really, because obviously Arsenal, before that game, had Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, and we were not playing well. And it was a little bit kind of scary, really, I think would be the right word to say, scary. Just because, you know, Palace won 3-1, and I was like, ooh, fuck. In fact, no, it wasn't a 3 o'clock kickoff. That was a 2 o'clock, actually, Sunday. No, I recall it, because we played Everton at home and we drew 0-0. Yeah, that's it. And it was just By the way, that's 2 years in a row we've had Palace at home in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Yeah, I know. The same quarterfinal 2 years in a row. The exact same quarterfinal. Different, though. because this year's we had to win by penalties. Yeah. Doesn't matter though. That's a thing of the past. You know what? That is a thing of the past. Because at that time, I was thinking, are you having a laugh with me? Penalties. But it was all right. It's all right now because we're in the final. Not much excitement. Before you start having a go at me, I have in this stream said that Man United are the most serious contender for second place, or even the title, with Arsenal in this stream. I do not believe that you'll lose a game for the rest of the season. And I think that second place is not a given for United, but it is something that United can strive for. And if City slip, United will be there to pounce. But no, I have no doubt that you'll beat West Ham next week. I've gone 4-0 for that. It's absolutely... I mean, anybody who wants to call Carrick a bad name at the minute, you can't. What he is doing is scary. Really. I mean, I guarantee you right now, you've got Man City for definite scared. You've got Villa worried. Like Carrick's just dropped in, and all of us have dropped a stink bomb on City and Villa, who are now probably worrying for their lives about their second and third place spots, let alone the title. That's what Carrick has brought. United are now a big threat and a big contender to get into the top two. I did not know that. But no, if you think City and Villa aren't worried, think again. City and Villa, Liverpool won't care. Liverpool are behind United. Liverpool are chasing them. Liverpool are not going to get above United. There's no chance of it. Like, I can already tell you right now, Liverpool are finishing outside the top 5. Liverpool ain't going to be able to get near you. Liverpool ain't scared. Liverpool just know they're fucked. But City and Villa will be worried. And they will be looking over the shoulder. Now, for Arsenal fans yesterday, seeing you win against Spurs, it wasn't a case of chattering my teeth. It was a case of, way, because Spurs have got beat. But for City and Villa fans, that might have been a bit, fuck. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Then Villa fans at the Vitality would have been like, oh, fuck. That's what Villa fans would have been doing yesterday. Oh, fuck. Well, the Liverpool fans seem to think that I am obliged almost to urge Liverpool on for the victory. I'm not. And I'm not going to. I have predicted 2-2 for that game. And it's the exact same circumstances as Liverpool versus United. I am watching purely as a neutral, and I am going to be there for that game just to enjoy it. I do not feel the need to back anybody for that game as an Arsenal fan. Whilst, yes, Liverpool winning could have a huge impact on the title race for Arsenal in a good way or a bad way, or just a way where City are back to within whatever points they were before we played. But it's not a game that really affects Arsenal. Because again, United right now are the biggest threat and the team to worry about under Michael Carrick. And people are not quite adjusted to that yet. But I can see that this is now a strong team who, I mean, look, you can't be absolutely certain with United. But there has been times over the years where I've made very risky calls in favour or against United and they've gone my way. Well, this isn't one of those. I mean, for example, betting on United to win at the Etihad when they won 2-1. Betting on Harry Maguire to score the winning goal at Anfield. You know what I mean? People will start to adjust to it as long as they keep winning. If they do lose a game or they draw a game, people might be a bit like, ooh, just a phase, just a little bit of a well, the opposite of a blip, a good moment. But at the minute, the consistency is there, and Mr. Haircut's going to get his hair done next week, because I can tell you right now, United are winning 3 or 4 at West Ham next week. If anybody thinks that West Ham are going to get something against United, they're not. They're not. That is going to be like, I mean, I've gone 4-0 United for that game. But no, I haven't actually caught up on the yeah, we don't. Arsenal fans don't listen to West Ham fans. I mean, I personally would consider myself a person who loves to bully West Ham fans. Not all Arsenal fans are there just to bully West Ham fans, but I am. Like, if you put me with West Ham fans, I will bully them. They're not. They won't score. Or they might. But in my opinion, under Michael Carrick, United go there and win 4-0. Under Ruben Amorim, a 1-1 draw. But under Michael Carrick, a 4-0 win. It doesn't need to be 2-0 though. If you've got the quality, 2-0 is not a scoreline to settle on at West Ham. And I'm not saying that because West Ham will come back, but West Ham tend to capitulate if they go 1 or 2 down, which is why teams like Arsenal can go there and win 6-0. So I would not be settled on 2-0. Just an Imbermo brace. I mean, if you go 2-0 up early, you'll slap them. He will. He will, though. Oh, touch on the Balacqua. Laid off for Wharton. And over the bar by him for Crystal Palace. I mean, I already know that when we go to West Ham, we are winning 6-0. I don't have to be a mind reader or a scientific expert to know that we're going to go and win 6-0 at West Ham this year. I can already smell a 6-0 win there. So I would say right now you guys should be aiming for at least 4. That's a load of bollocks, that is, because for a start, you don't even want to cut that hair, because if you do, the context might be a little bit too deep for social media, but it'll get a bit irritable. I'm just saying it as it is. I mean, I'm trying not to be inappropriate for social media, but from past experience, it can get irritable down there if you remove. No, Charlie, they won't, though. It's nice to think that common sense to the rescue. It's not going to happen. Oh, London North Western Railway. Let's have a look at this. Full refund plus £25 compensation. Thank you very much. Total payout fee of £65 and 25p. Lovely. Beautiful. Oh, yes. By the way, I played the little... Excuse me, this is an abuse of a passenger. You owe me a full refund plus compensation. Yeah. Well, I've just got £25 compensation plus full refund back out of them. I spent an hour on the phone with them yesterday for all that nonsense at London Euston. I've just had 65 quid out of them. I paid 41 quid for this train ticket. This is I literally screamed, well, not screamed, but shouted down the phone, "You are abusing me." Well, doesn't matter. I got my look. I've got a full refund for one. By the way, only one half of the journey was affected as well. It was an off-peak return, right? An off-peak open return. Only one part of the journey was affected. I still got a full refund plus £25 compensation. The refund came through yesterday, but they've just followed up and said £25 compensation. So total payout fee is now £65.25. Perfect. That's going right into my pocket for the Wolves Arsenal game. That's it now. I'm going to go to the Ritz in Wolverhampton for my lunch, for my dinner for that Wolves Arsenal. Go on. By the way, I can get refunds out of anybody, by the way, as well. Just to make you... I am very good over the telephone. Okay? I have got hotels to give me refunds because I forgot to cancel the reservation. And still, I agreed that if I didn't cancel within 24 hours, I would be charged. But I played the old family emergency card. Yeah. Best Western hotels. Oh, yeah. I pay... the family emergency card works with them every time. Yeah, the instant you say family emergency to a hotel, they'll give you your money back. Just to make it sound realistic. There was no family emergency, by the way. All right. So you want my compensation? Is that so? So basically, you want London North Western Railway's money? Yeah, cool. 25 quid. That's fine. Bet is on. You can't believe, can you? You're in shock that I've got compensation out of London North Western on top of the full refund. Literally. Last night, 9 o'clock, before I'd even arrived home. I arrived home, by the way, at 10:30 last night. Should have been back at 8:15. 9 o'clock, I got the refund back. And today now, just an email following up saying we have given you £25 compensation. It's going to be 4-0 United, mate. Well, thank you very much, London North Western Railway. I really appreciate that £25 compensation. See, that's the thing with me. If you want compensation, stick the phone over to me. Because what is 890 Gaming claims that, what was it we said earlier about London North Western? Something like that anyways. Yeah, well, because of my phone call yesterday, they've come crawling back. So, oh, Fraser, I had a nightmare getting out of London Euston yesterday, but guess what I've just had? Full refund and £25 compensation. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I will be sitting neutrally for that game. I, again, do not feel a need to back Liverpool. The other way around, but yeah. But yes, Wednesday, the 18th of February, guys. Just a little bit of a reminders for you. This won't be out on the community tab just yet, but we are going to be in attendance for the Wolves against Arsenal, and that is a replacement for Arsenal Wigan. So I have just literally bought my ticket off my dealer for a very good price as well to Molineux. And Molineux will be the next attendance from me. So you can indulge in a watch along for Arsenal Wigan on Realltom Football next Sunday. And yes, by the way, for the next 2 games, there will be fan cams, of course. I have now made it mandatory to do fan cams, really. Which is another reason why I'm bringing in the 2 o'clock kickoffs into my 3 o'clock rule. Because, in fact, 2 o'clock kickoffs are more annoying than 3 o'clock kickoffs when it comes to fan cams. Let's have a look. Oh, let's have a look. Do me a favour, what is 890? Flip me the link, and don't tell me you can't send me the link directly, because I have a ticker going across every game with 3 different social media channels. I am contactable. Do you know, I hate this photo of Mateta that I've got on my... I do... Serious opinion, guys. Do you think that photo makes Mateta look fat? Am I lagging? Oh, it's just an edit. Charlie, what is 890 Gaming was just showing me your edit the celebration of 2026. But no, I'm gonna, well, you just focus on winning that bet, eh? Because I've got big plans for that compensation if you don't win that bet. Like I say, it'll be more than Weatherspoons for dinner in Wolverhampton. It'll be a bit more than Weatherspoons. Now that I've got an entire refund plus 25 quid. No, but by the way, I have been all over that Stranger Things meal. And this morning, I did go a bit kissy-kissy to the McDonald's local to me and say, well, I made a bit of a lie up, let's just say. I said I had 3 of the same Stranger Things toy. And, yeah, I was a bit upset about it. 2 free-ins today on breakfast. Two minutes at a time, by the way. I would probably say Zubozi between the relegation zone and 15th. Just above Forest, maybe not above Leeds. I don't think they're that great, Brighton, to be fair. By the way, I hope that isn't Luke Links in disguise. Although he does know that I am critical of Brighton. It won't be Luke in disguise. He's probably at this match. So, Charlie, what do you think to the Liverpool City game later? I mean, me personally, I'm sitting neutral about it. I would never. Do you know what was good to see yesterday? No half and half scarves on sale. Big up to whoever is outside the Emirates, the retailers, whatever. There was not a single half and half scarf on sale yesterday. Big up. I am sick of half and half scarves. Not a single one yesterday. Thank the Lord for that. I'm fed up of people coming to the Emirates in half and half scarves. Karen Matoma, by the way, is having a concussion check. Yeah, I got a seat, by the way, Charlie, right next to the... I was literally 3 seats away from the away end in the clock yesterday. Of course, standard, lower clock. Yeah, if I don't get put in the lower clock, my dealer just exchanges my ticket and gives me one in the lower clock. It's great. So yeah, I am lower clock now. That is my official seating of the Emirates Stadium, lower clock. Or in the clock. Upper clock sometimes, but... This dealer, all you need to know, is bloody brilliant. No scamming or anything like that. And he gets some cheap as chips for me. I paid barely anything to get to Stamford Bridge in the away end. No, he is not a drug dealer. He's not even an actual dealer as such. He's a middleman. He deals for me. He gets the tickets, then gives them to me. I'm not going to go into names because, you know what I mean, that would just be... Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that because obviously it's not just an Arsenal channel, you know what I mean? We are much more than an Arsenal channel at the minute. And I don't want people who aren't from Arsenal trying to get away tickets off him. But he's great. Well, believe. Anyways, do I look like I'm bothered? I'm getting legit tickets at a reasonable price. Of course, inflated a bit, but reasonable enough. And I'm getting, well, Stamford Bridge, Turf Moor, soon to be the Etihad, and now Wolves. No. I give him money, and he contacts his contacts and gets me the cheapest price for a ticket. Basically, he's a guy with contacts. And the even better part, no commission. I don't know yet, because like I say, this guy contacts his contacts. But he's got loads of tickets from Molyneux at the minute. The only bit of information I'll give you, he's in Coventry. He's Coventry. He is not Northampton, he's Coventry. I'll sort you, Charlie. It's going to be inflated. 1 0 0. In my world, not being a season ticket holder, that's a bargain. That is a bargain. I can. Yes, absolutely. Believe you me, if you're willing to pay your half, I can not only get us... Well, I can not only get you a ticket, but I can also get probably 2 seats together. If you really want to do that, by the way, I will have the vlogging camera by then. I will have the vlogging camera, so... Sorry, I only do Arsenal. Shh. Like I say, I will not be giving details out to anybody except for Arsenal fans that I know are certified Arsenal fans as well. Not just any old Arsenal fan who claims to be one, because I don't want to be letting unlegit people into the away end. You know, I know you too well. What is 890 gaming? The answer's no. Maybe you can get a home ticket. Fraser, you're a massive Liverpool fan. 3 times this year. Bear with. I've got... No. 2 so far, sorry. 2 so far, but I am on 3. Like I say, Molyneux is in the bag. But... Stamford Bridge. There you are. Horrible Liam Rosini picture. Look at this. Look at this for a bloody prog. I know. Look at Liam Rosini's ugly face. Look at Liam Rosini's ugly face. Ugh. Yeah, look at it. It's ugly, isn't it? And in fact, Burnley away was actually Poppy weekend as well. So the Burnley programme's got a poppy on it. There you are. And yeah, there you are. Burnley as well. And Wolves will be added to that list, added to that pile soon as well. Okay, that Donyell Marlon account is immediately getting banned because it's got me photoshopped in a prohibited clothing item for an Arsenal fan. But yes, there you go. Turf Moor and Stamford Bridge. So far, so good. So yeah, these are my two. And like I say, Wolves away will be number 3. And Man City away will be number 4. So yeah. There you go. And yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. For Burnley, that was actually a good read. That was a good read. They put a really nice page on as well with for Arsenal. I don't know where it is, but I remember reading this, and the page for Arsenal was brilliant. They put loads out for us to read. And always a nice touch to have the poppy on the front of the programme as well. So yeah. I now need to reorganise the programme pile, by the way, because I swear to God, that programme pile from last season compared with this season now weighs a ton. Because there has not been a single game this year where I haven't collected a programme. How's that welcoming to you, Aiden? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Shall we do a count, actually? I haven't actually got all of them available, either way. 2 are in the bag as well. So, whatever the count is of programmes, I add 2 on. Because, yeah, currently, Chelsea and Sunderland are both in the backpack. Chelsea home. I must remember I've done 2 Chelseas this year. Right, let's get this old bad boy out, shall we? I swear to you, it weighs a ton. It really does. Oh, come on. I need to get all of them. Oh, God. Oh, frig. It weighs. That's what I mean. It absolutely weighs an absolute ton, this does. Like, this is a lot heavier than what it... Genuinely. Youch. Heavy. Right, let's do a count, shall we? Oof, that hurts, man. Yeah. Forest versus Bristol City. Forest versus United. Chesterfield versus Forest. QPR versus Brighton. Arsenal v Bolton Wanderers. Arsenal v Crystal Palace. Arsenal v Newcastle. Arsenal v Man United. I need to count. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Everton versus Bournemouth makes 9. Forest versus Ipswich. What a game that was. Nuno, love you for that celebration. That's 10. PSV at home, Champions League. That's a beautiful programme as well. Makes 11. Arsenal v Villarreal and Arsenal v Athletic Club in one programme makes 12 programmes. Saints versus Seagulls makes 13. Walsall Villa 14. Chesterfield Forest 15. Brighton Wolfsburg 16. Arsenal West Ham 17. Arsenal Palace 18. Arsenal Brighton 19. Arsenal Brentford 20. Arsenal Palace again 21. That's 3 Arsenal Palaces in there, by the way. So far, my biggest attended fixture against the club is Palace. How ironic. Oh, fuck, I've lost count. I'll go 23, so 25 roughly. Huh? Is that right? Yeah, no. Oh, I thought I'd lost count then. Oh, don't even. Yeah, I mustn't forget I've done 2 Brightons this year. So I thought that was misplaced. Okay, and on top of Brighton goes Chelsea away. And then where does Burnley go? Let's see. I've got to do dates here as well. I think it goes in between West Ham and Palace Premier League. Yeah. So what's the date? Oh no, Palace Premier League, then Burnley. That's right. And that's just the beginning. Because like I say, 2 more are going to be added to this. And it weighs a bloody ton. I mean, there you are. That's my program pile. That is the program pile. And yeah, that is hard to hold in one hand, but just about doable. You weigh a ton. And I know you're only going to get heavier. Oh, Kate and Jonathan, I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry about yesterday. I expected a 1-1 draw. Fair play to Brentford, but what went wrong yesterday, guys? So yeah, there you go. I'm going to do a bit of weights here, shall I? Heavy. I'd love to know the exact weight of all these, plus the 2 in the bag. That is not all of them. And like I say, 2 in the bag. And then, of course, the next one to be added to this beautiful pile, I believe 27 or 28, will be Wolves versus Arsenal, which is my next attendance. And yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And speaking of next week, obviously we aren't here on Monday because there is no games to watch, but I will be live and direct to you guys on Tuesday. And also I can confirm that the Premier League is getting an upgrade on Realltom Football with a new and revitalised and refreshed Premier League intro for the mini one. Will be available for you guys and customised to perfection for game week 26. So new music, new graphics, and new Premier League style on Realltom Football. Have you seen this WOD? Honestly, Charlie, have you seen this WOD? That's hurting my knees. I dread to think how much that draw's taking from these. Did you go to the game on Tuesday? because I was right in your Chelsea away end view. Because, of course, I am, when I do attend, a clock end sitter, which is where the away fans are. So, the real question is then, who can win this battle? Will it be Seagull or Eagle? Yes, mate, I am. Through and through. I was at Stamford Bridge. I was at the Emirates. I have been there for both legs. And I am an Arsenal fan. The bloodline. I'd go draw or win for Newcastle. I think that Tottenham's home form may just save you. Okay, back underway. Right, let's do something with this WAD. It's who I'm meant to support. Arsenal is the club who I am meant to support, and I really don't trust myself putting these back in the drawer neatly. Do I bollocks support Spurs? I'm Arsenal through and through. I was at the game yesterday. I'm at the Wolves game, and boy, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm quite embarrassed about it, really, but the Havertz goal made me cry on Tuesday. The Havertz goal made me cry on Tuesday. Yeah. It was just a lot of tension coming out, I suppose you could say, really, and the goal just Charlie, honestly, I never would have anticipated that I would have cried at the Emirates before, but the Havertz goal just made me fall into floods of tears. I genuinely just, when that goal went in, because obviously we were all screaming at the ref for the full-time whistle, the goal went in, and I just fell to my knees, and it was just uncontrollable emotion. It was so important, though, because last year I sat in that ground and had that heartbreak. Correct. If you were in the ground, you would have cried. Did I? I did. I think it's a free match, but I don't. Is it violent? What was it? Actually, what it was no, it wasn't. It was a serious foul play. What was it? Yeah, it was. It was an SFP. Yeah, SFP. Serious foul play. I'm not weird. I am not weird. And actually, I've been very, very loyal to the club this year. I mean, I've barely done any touring this year or anything like that with other clubs, all bar pre-season. And I've just threw myself right into every opportunity to get to a game. I've got to every game that I could this season. So I wouldn't say that we're all weird. And I'm going to keep doing it as well. Usabia, Guna, Usabia, Guna. We're singing in the North Bank and in the clock in two. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale. We won the league at Anfield. We won it at the Lane twice. Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford. No one can say the same. Oh, yeah. Our number 6 is the king of Brazil. Our centre off. He'll give you Our wall at the back is Gabriel. And there's one about Sao Paulo as well. And Martinelli. Just so you know, Arsenal have the best ever recorded unbeaten record at Stamford Bridge for an away team. Yes, ever. Nobody in world football has ever achieved 8 games unbeaten at Stamford Bridge. So we've got the pride of that. 8. And I guarantee you that record will never get broken. I've checked it all. We have world football's best ever unbeaten record at Stamford Bridge. Oh, it's been the best birthday week probably in years. From top to bottom. I mean, yesterday, London Euston kind of dampened it a bit, but the Sunderland fans being right next to them, they were brilliant as well. I have to say, they made great banter yesterday. It's been a really good birthday week for me. I've had a few bits and bobs, clothes, cards, money, but it's not even about that. That's why we sing 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again. Shamina mina, waka waka, Yeah. Now that's why we do. We sing 60 million down the drain because it was overpriced, but hey. Doesn't matter. Each draw at Stamford Bridge contributes to our unbeaten record, which is now the best ever in world football at your stadium. How do you feel about that Arsenal are 8 games unbeaten at Stamford Bridge and likely to go more than that? Surely that must hurt you deep down, knowing that 8 times in a row you have failed to beat Arsenal at your own ground. Like, that surely must hurt you deep down. A final that we needed, though. And I am one of the people who's been saying, fuck the FA Cup for years. For years. the two things that I've wanted before anything else have been a Carabao Cup and a Premier League. After those two come, go and win whatever you want. Just keep rolling in the trophies. I'm open to honesty, matey. I'm open to honesty. And that's what I want because, you know what I mean? At some point, if that record gets worse, whether you like it or not, Chelsea fans are going to have to acknowledge it and have to do something about it to try and make it stop. Because if that record gets to 15 or whatever, that's serious embarrassment. Like I say, it's the best ever unbeaten record for anybody in world football at that ground. It is confirmed. It is nobody has got a better record than us there, and nobody will ever break it either. Oh, the Carabao Cup, you mean? I was about to say, we've played you already. We don't have to go to Stamford Bridge again now. Unless the FA... But we won't. I'm sorry to break your hearts, but you will not draw us in the FA Cup. I mean, to be fair, I don't know. Who do I want in the FA Cup? Well, we don't quite say it like that. We say it a bit like Usabia, Guna, ooh. That's why you need to get to more games, Charlie, because I'm a bit more up to date with the chants. Yeah. Protest. Fair enough. Still though, man, we need to get me and Charlie in the same ground as each other. Like, I can't believe that I've attended so many games for Arsenal this season and I haven't had Charlie there yet once. You know what I mean? It's crazy. To say the least, I mean, every time you see attendance alert, you're like, "Oh fuck! Why did I not get a ticket for that one?" Oh, absolutely, we will. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to count. West Ham at home. Oh no, I can't do it without all the program. I don't want to get the programs back out, but I need the programs to be able to count. That's why I have the programs, because I've attended that many this year that I can't count them. Without the programs, I wouldn't remember. Except for the away ones, of course. So yeah, people might go and say, look, why are you buying programs, even if you're an away fan? Because when you're young, you may have kids. And there's a big pile of stuff to show them. They are archives of what I've done. You think I'm gonna let that? You think I'm gonna let that happen? Do you think I'm gonna let that happen? It would be a case of disownment if they supported Liverpool or somebody outside of Arsenal. they literally would not be able to support any other Big Six club. We hate Man United. They can't support Chelsea or Spurs. And they can't support Liverpool. Oh, well, they will be available to view on Sky Sports, Premier League and Sky Sports main event at 3:30. So I will wait until 3:30 to get those lineups out to you guys so I don't have to move a muscle. You've got 6 people going. Yeah, you need to increase the capacity of your ground, man. I'm not gonna lie about it. You guys need to get that ground up to like 30,000 quick. Like seriously, man. Like it's not even funny the fact that it's that only 2,000 Arsenal fans can get in. Not even that. I mean, bloody what's his name, Max, the Bournemouth fan. Our ground is visible for miles, mate. If you look in the right direction, it's visible for miles. The Bournemouth ground, you mean? Like I say, Max, the Bournemouth fan, he doesn't come on that often, but I know him. And when I went down to Bournemouth for a holiday in the summer, we pause because Crystal Palace have hit the back of the net and have delivered a blow to Brighton, in which could be a blow of a second home defeat consecutively to Crystal Palace, their arch rivals, but also if Brighton don't respond, this will be a 4th game in a row where Brighton have failed to beat Crystal Palace. And Ismail Assar, acres of space, and the emphaticness of the finish with the composure, hard to keep, but did it. It does come off Verbruggen's shoulder. It's a bit small when you read the capacity 40,000. You think small, but when you're in there, it feels all right. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of the whole pre-match only 40,000. But yeah, no, you shouldn't change Stamford Bridge. No way. Maybe adapt it a little bit, because there are a few bits that look a little bit rough and tired, but I would say keep the same stadium. It's Kadioglu. I mean, yeah, Chelsea, yeah. I'm looking forward to my trip to Wolves. I think it's going to be decent, that. I don't think Molineux is a bad ground at all, just by looking at it from pictures. I do think it'll be a good visit. And it's going to be nice to have it kind of as well on a Wednesday night without anybody really within the picture. Teams are in, and main lineups only. No benches, but on the screen should come the lineups in a minute. Yeah, here we are. Kustulas, good save by Szoboszlai, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkez, Alisson in goal, Liverpool, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, Ekitike, Man City, Donnarumma, Nunez, Kusanov, Gahey, Aït-Nouri, Rodri, Semenyo, Silva, O'Reilly, and Marmoush, Haaland as well. And those are the teams. And that is our 4:30 kickoff. You can join us at 4:15 for Liverpool against Manchester City. Palace corner. Well, just a bit of a touch on the EFL in a minute, once this corner's been taken. And that was yesterday, where the British Heart Foundation's Every Minute Matters campaign took over, with all kickoffs being pushed by 1 minute to 01, whether that be 13:01, 12:01, 15:01, in support of the Every Minute Matters campaign by the British Heart Foundation, also ambassadored by, now playing again for Bristol Rovers, Tom Lockyer, who, of course, had a long career pause after 2 consecutive career collapses due to a heart attack for Luton Town, one of which being at Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium, which sort of was what we thought was the end of his career. And that is another campaign which has been going on, as well as the With Pride campaign by the Premier League. And it's all because of that Chansiri, Fraser, as well. Sheffield Wednesday were doing absolutely fine in terms of points before that points deduction. Now, they've just given up, and I'm not surprised. I've never been to Swansea before. I think I've entered Wales before, briefly, but I've never been Swansea, no. But yeah, most certainly the second one had more about it, because obviously, I mean, well, if you go back and watch the clip of the incident, Philip Billings' reaction tells you everything you need to go, everything you need to know. Oh, that's nice. But yeah, Philip Billing was the man who just saw it straight away from the clip, and he just waved his arms about, absolute manically, but rightly so. Yeah, you'll notice that Philip Billing was a key person in that Bournemouth incident for Tom Lockyer. In by Waters, out it goes. 20 minutes to go. And Palace with the lead again. And there is a triple change for Brighton in order to try and stop themselves from failing to beat or losing to Brighton, to Palace. 4 games without a win against Palace, it would be 3 defeats in 4 if Palace get the 3 points. So Belieber, De Kuyper and Howell are replaced by Diego Gomez, Danny Welbeck and Yankuba Minter. Tackle. To the feet of Bruggen. Well, I mentioned to you that the Amex Stadium can be a quiet ground, in which it is, and the Palace fans are very audible at the minute. Yes, sir. Tackle by Pascal Gross. Yeah, I'm on the live Sky coverage. And well, 1 against 2 here for Jorgen Strand Larsen in his debut, and denied by Dean Henderson, who made a good saving block. But Jorgen Strand Larsen, he had a bit more space and a bit more freedom. He would have got that debut goal, I think, in a Crystal Palace shirt, and probably the goal which would have put the win beyond doubt. Good save by Verbruggen. Yeah, I'm on Sky Premier League, but of course via the legit source. And off Welbeck for another Crystal Palace corner. Over the top by Strand Larsen, second attempt. In a short period for him. The game? Or what? Or have you not been watching? Oh, you haven't been watching the game yet. Sorry, I just read the comment. Yeah. It's like that fierceness, I suppose you could say, really, of a rivalry. I would have preferred more goals, but it's been okay. 15 minutes to go. And Palace in the lead. And Daichi Kamada, feels like an age since I said his name, really. Is that today? I think it is, actually. I think I saw it advertised earlier somewhere. Wednesday, Swansea. And I'm not surprised either. I mean, Swansea aren't great. Cardiff are better than them, despite the fact that the league's difference, but yeah, 4-0 home win. Comfy. The points deduction made them give up. What can you do? What can you do when you're on minus whatever it was? I mean, what can you do? They'll have to come back from getting relegated. They'll have to come back fighting. They'll have to rebuild. And I'm sure they will, Sheffield Wednesday. You know what I mean? It was a relegation which was never going to happen unless the points deduction came in. They were strong going. And they would have been still strong, but FFP, yeah. I don't really glaze Leicester. I think they're a very, very boring and soulless club, to be fair. I don't particularly take satisfaction out of Leicester, so ouch. No, mate. I just nah. I would happily rather watch Derby or Forest instead of these Midlands clubs, or Burton, or Mansfield, or Chesterfield. Speaking of Derby, I think they lost at home yesterday. They won 5-0 away to Bristol. I think they lost at home yesterday. They were on R12 kickoff, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they lost to Ipswich. Coventry drew. What happened to Borough? Why can't I see? Oh, shit. Where's Borough? I can't. What's happened to... Oh, no. What's happened to Borough? What happened to Borough? What happened to Borough? Borough. Huh? Where's the Middlesbrough? Oh, shit. Where's where's Middlesbrough's game? Where's Middlesbrough's game? They're playing tomorrow. And the standings. Middlesbrough can go above Coventry with a win over Sheffield United tomorrow. Crazy. Middlesbrough. I don't know any Middlesbrough chants, by the way. But Borough. Come on, Borough. Middlesbrough and Coventry, I'll be delighted if them two both come up. I will be a very happy man if Borough and Coventry are the two teams to come up automatic. In which they should be. You want to see me unhappy, do you? I won't be happy if Middlesbrough and Coventry aren't up. The Premier League needs those two clubs. And trust me, I know you're all thinking he's talking nonsense. No, I'm not. The Premier League needs those two clubs. They can come up through the playoffs. And don't tell me, the playoffs, because the playoffs are normally what deliver the best teams. The success rate of teams going through the playoffs is very high. And you know that. Brentford, Forest, Sunderland, countless playoff winners being successful. I mean, Luton, I enjoyed that playoff final with Luton, but they weren't successful in staying up. But like I said, it's still the success rate of teams getting up through the playoffs is high. Because it's teams. Brentford, Forest, Sunderland have all been amazing. You can't sit there and tell me that Brentford coming up wasn't a good thing. Brentford would have never come up had it not been for that playoff final. And of course, when it comes to me, Nottingham Forest coming up is always a good thing. I do have a soft spot for Nottingham Forest. Well, at the end of this Super Sunday, it's catch-up time for me. I'll have the Gary Neville podcast. I haven't listened to Lee Gunner yet. And I've got... Let's see. I did get to see the highlights reel for the Man United game. but I've got roughly 4 or 5 games to see the highlights of yet. Because I just did not get back until late yesterday. And by the time I got to bed, I was just knackered. Is he? Well, that's great, but I'm neutral today. And if Liverpool win, great. I don't need to rely on Liverpool. Arsenal fans can do, think and say what they want, as can any football fan. But for me, if you don't need to apply a pressure, don't. Yes, but I am not going to press for it, is what I'm trying to say, because I don't need to push for it. It would be nice. I don't need to push for it. I do not need to sit there and scream for Liverpool to win. Because Man United beat Man City and Arsenal responded with 2 straight Premier League victories. I'm sorry to say it, Fraser, but Liverpool are just the odd one out this year. Like, United are in there. And I would not be surprised if United snatch second place from City. Because this Carrick project is working. Pascal Gross kept it in nicely. Yankee Minter, Pascal Gross looked offside. Pascal Gross, corner offside. Yeah. And that's a very good record. But this season, he can achieve second place if he wants to. Because the likelihood is City will slip again. The opportunities are there for Manchester United to grab second place. If they want it, they'll get it. And it would be a huge statement from Michael Carrick as well. And a massive boost for next season. So yeah, for me, that's the difference. United are title contenders. Liverpool are top 4 contenders. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that is the case. Who knows? Who knows? Michael Carrick's doing wonders. The likelihood is they'll finish in the top 4. And they'll probably leapfrog Villa. They might get above City. They might. I'm not saying they will, but 3rd or 4th is achievable for them. Chelsea ain't going to be able to hold the consistency to get top 4. Liverpool ain't either. Okay. Well, for this season, in the now, the floor is Carrick's. There's not a lot that can break what's going on right now. Next season, though, potentially. I think they're only about 8 points behind Villa and City, something like that, whatever it is. They're not far off. 2 wins, something like that. Let's have a look. They're literally 3 points behind. They're 3 points behind Villa and City. City lose today, and Villa don't win their next game. United could be second. You are not a title contender. Whoop. Hang on a minute. 6 minutes added on. Charlie, I laugh, please. I mean, it's crazy, but it's fact. And I'm just going off common sense here. You base it on the way that... let's do a Liverpool United. I think United have had a better season than Liverpool this year. And I'm sorry to say this, Liverpool fans, but my head is telling me that United are going to do the league double over you this year. And there's not a lot that you can do about it either, because they won at Anfield. Now they're just going to beat you at Old Trafford. The FA Cup is yours, mate. If you want it, go get it. Go get it. Make it a Liverpool United final for all I care. Go get it. Go get it. We don't need the FA Cup this year. We want it, but we don't need it. We're going to go get the Carabao Cup. And by the way, for anybody who thinks we ain't getting it, we are getting the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup is coming to the Emirates. And I've been pushing for it for years. It's coming. The Carabao Cup is coming to our trophy cabinet. "22 years of heartbreak to be broken and ended in March. Stranlaw said, "Oh, that should have been the second goal." Yeah, Palace, since they're scoring the goal, have had much better chances They've looked much more the team to score. You have to think of it more or less from the fact that the ownership isn't great. You have to think about it in the sense of the recent years. I think this season, for them to finish second place would be ginormous. I mean, I can't sit and pretend that there's something going on there. Sorry, not. That there's not, because they beat us at the Emirates. My head has been turned by that. Had that not happened, my head would have not turned. But my head has been turned by that. The Glazers have been highly criticised, Fraser, over the years. And you hear Goldbridge saying that Ineos aren't much better. Neville. True. Anyways, the United talk is for another day because Crystal Palace have inflicted a third defeat on Brighton in 4 games of this rivalry. A second win at the Amex in a row for Palace. And Brighton, it is back to the drawing board for them. It is not a league double this year, but it is a third defeat in 4 against their fierce rivals Palace. A second home defeat in a row to Crystal Palace. And it is a bad one. And one that will be hard to swallow. The final score at the Amex Stadium is Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1. And next up on Realltom Football in around about 17 minutes time, you can join us for Liverpool against Manchester City, which is not only this weekend's headliner, but also today's headliner. Next up, Realltom Football, Liverpool Palace at Liverpool, Man City, 4:30 kickoff. All the build-up is at 4:50.